talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRUSH.
Should I join AARP? Where does the cheapness of saving money and getting some discounts collide with the loss of dignity of having to present a membership card to save a couple of nickels? Welcome to Drive Time. This is the conundrum that I had smacking me right in the face when I went to get my mail after work yesterday. There's a big old envelope telling me that I can join AARP, and it said, "Welcome to your 50s." Oh no. Now, first of all, I've been here a minute. You know what I mean? I'm 51. Something about it, man. Something about, and you know, part of the theme of this show is me coping with getting older. And this weekend I had brunch with a friend who was really ruining turning 50. Oh, he was in a worse way than I was. And I was a bit of a mess. I was a bit of a mess. So I'm asking you if it's worth it. Do I need to check my dignity at the door? Am I being ridiculous? 651-461-9226. I need your advice. I need your advice. Because I do remember the first time I went to Coastal Seafood in Minneapolis, and they asked me, some little 20-year-old little snot-nosed youngster asked me about the senior discount. Oh, and it hurt. It hurt so bad. And I think at this point I was in my 40s. Now, I think it's possible that I'm being ridiculous about this. It's possible. It's unlikely. It's unlikely. I just am not sure I should be. I guess it's all about if it's worth it. It's all about if it's worth it. Should I join AARP? 651-461-9226. So I'm talking about this with Alyssa last night. And Dan, you and I are the same age.
We're figuring out, I mean, it's close to 6 months. I'm about 6 months older than you.
Now, some of you are being babies. Some of the callers here, like, grow a pair a little bit. Have some fun. Lighten up. Don't be such a sensitive little loser. Okay? I called you a loser. I'm not calling you old. Is that worse? Good Lord. Does WCCO devalue listeners over 60? If so, goodbye. My God.
Don't let the door hit you.
Can we go ahead? Go somewhere else. I don't care. Just sick of it. Lighten up. Lighten up. I don't even know sometime. Texter, here's correct. You're cheap. Think of all the senior discounts you can use. So that is really, that's my question. Like, is it that good? Is it that good?
That's I have also received mailers from AARP.
When did you start getting those?
I started getting them in my 40s. Before I turned 50, I started getting them.
Now, I don't
know. And that was the insult to me. At least let me get past 50 before you start bombing me with these things.
Yeah.
So that annoyed me. So they went right in the shredder. I didn't even bother.
Did they change it? Like, they don't call it, it's not the American Association for Retired People. Now it's just AARP, right? Isn't that what they call it?
Sure. I don't know.
But I got this thing in the mail, and it's like you get like a little cooler, like a free, and I don't want a cooler.
No.
So if that's your opener, for me, I'm not that interested.
We've sort of gotten hosed on our generation. Specifically, our portion of Gen X has sort of gotten hosed, right? I don't want to take us off onto a tangent here, but they changed the age for colonoscopies like in the middle, so we got hosed on that bit, and there's all kinds of that kind of scheduling stuff. I don't know, AARP's messaging us in our 40s, and it's just come on, let me have a little bit of life here.
Texters are saying, join. There's a lot of benefits. Another one says, I got it mailed to my dorm when I was like 20. Whoa. I think they thought I was my mom. Another texter says anyone who shops at J.H. & Sons doesn't need to use the AARP discount.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, that is fair. Let's go to Jeff in St. Paul. Jeff, it's just that very first time I hand over the card and ask for the senior discount feels like it's going to be a traumatic moment for me,
If you have to hand over the card to get the senior discount, you're doing really.
That's a good point.
Going to look at you and say, the senior discount for you, sir. That's when you really know that's when you got to go home and really start to trace out the lines in your face.
Yeah.
And look at it this way: you survived. You survived twice as long.
Yep.
Okay, and you're not really in bad shape until young ladies hold the door open for you. And you realize you've really got the senior status then. So I say, go for it. Lots of good discounts. You're doing fine. You're just a kid to me, buddy.
I mean, it's always relative. It's always relative. Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff has a great point because it's like, when you're in your mid to late 30s and you're still getting carded, how good that feels.
Yeah.
Right? So this is sort of the reverse of that. Now, if you're handing over the card, the AARP card, and they're looking at you like, no way. What do you mean AARP? You kidding? It's sort of a little ego boost for you. That's as good a reason as any to join.
Now, I did just find the tweet of the first time that I was asked if I got the senior discount at Coastal Seafood. And there was a witness. So there was a witness there, someone I knew when this happened. And this I posted on December 31st, 2013. Coastal Seafoods just asked if I was eligible for the discount, the senior discount. At the time, I was 38. But in fairness, I looked a little rougher at age 38. You know what I mean? I've cleaned things up a little bit. Now, a texter says, Jason, join. Go full in on being over the hill. Get that cruise wear. Join a pickleball club and renew your library card. That's perfect. That's very good. Another texter says, I put it off. I pretended I couldn't be needing this. And then says, I enjoyed it once I gave it a look. Another texter says, Jason, you think AARP pesters you in your 50s? Just wait until you're in your 60s. They'll be on you like vultures on roadkill. Oh, gosh. It is one of those things. It shouldn't feel like such a milestone, but it is. It just is. But maybe I should just go for it. Gene in Maplewood. Gene, you're not quite eligible yet for AARP.
Oh, yes, I am. Well, I'm 75 now, but I want to tell you, when I went, now, Baker Square, I don't think there's many out there, but I was at Baker Square with my friend, and she's the same age as I, and we were not near 75. And they asked us if we wanted the senior menu, and I looked at this woman, and I said, do I look like I'm 65? Because I was carded till I was 30.
Yeah, right.
But I do have AARP now, and we went to New York and we got great things for our hotel and everything. I don't use it that much, but it's a really good thing. But at that time, I was offended.
Yes, right. Like that's a little how I feel. Like I'm okay. Like
You're too young. You're too young.
I feel
for
like
her.
I'm too young. And then, like, if you're really gonna try to reel me in, like just one of those soft like coolers that can hold like 3 cans of soda. Like I don't know. Like give me something better to get me to join. I need something a little cooler than like a soft cooler. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I just thought I had to tell you about our experience.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, Gene. Appreciate it. We'll break. Lots of advice on this one. Lots of texts coming in. Turning old. Getting old, man. 651-461-9226. Pretty simple. Do you think I should join AARP? We'll talk about it a little more when we come back. Jacob Frey, 10 minutes away here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Staples has got hot deals and super low prices on everything for your business. And right now, brand your business at Staples with up to 30% off custom labels. Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app. Ends 4/18. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't waste another minute suffering from foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store for your no-obligation custom fitting. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Call 855-554-3338 or stop by our locations in Roseville, Maple Grove, Burnsville, and Woodbury.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Step into pain relief.
Hey, it's Adam Carter here, inviting you to join me November 30th to explore tropical Costa Rica with Colette. We'll stay in the Monteverde Cloud Forest, a place you have to see to believe, where trees grow to heights of 100 feet and the wildlife is abundant from butterflies to sloths. Enjoy breathtaking views in nature's museum. Visit a coffee plantation to learn the history from the bean all the way to the cup. Plus, relax in a resort on the most beautiful beach of Guanacaste. This and so much more. Colette handles all the details, flights, meals, hotels, and local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Do not miss out. Meet me and the folks from Colette on Wednesday, March 18th at 6 p.m. at Park Tavern in St. Louis Park to learn more. Call Colette at 866-436-6734 or visit WCCOradio.com for details. Let's go to Costa Rica.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH
This sounds like torture to me.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, I put my reading glasses on so I could, I mean, that, you know, if we're going to own it, we may as well own it. I've put my reading glasses on just so I can try to see what the benefits are for AARP membership, because that's the thing, right? Like, and a texter sagely points out, we're talking about my mortality, really. I mean, that's ultimately what this is about, right? Like, joining AARP, if it's just about getting a discount, whatever. Is this, you think, like why they changed it from, do they call it ARP now? Am I making this up? I feel like this was a thing. Like, we're not going to call it, because when you say AARP, people think that's the old people thing. But if you call it ARP, it sounds hipper. I don't know. This sounds like something some ad agency would come up with, right? But a texter says, I never understood the senior discount. Don't you think the young people need the discount more? The old people are retired. They don't need the money. I think the theory was the fixed income bit, right? Like because you don't have new money coming in necessarily. I mean, I'm working. I'm 50. It does seem absurd. Like if you ran a business, Dan Cook's, what did I say yesterday? That Dan Cook's House of Pancakes or something?
Yeah, something like that.
So if you ran Dan Cook's House of Pancakes, if I ran a House of Pancakes, for sure I would offer a senior discount.
Oh, absolutely.
But what's the age?
Who's up at that time in the morning,
Yeah,
right?
it's our more seasoned citizens.
By the way, to answer your question, AARP was formerly known as the American Association of Retired Persons. They shortened its name to AARP in 1999.
Okay.
Because people don't have to be retired to be part of the AARP.
Got it. But are you supposed to be old?
I'm sure they'd rather you not think of it that way.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Oh, it says they require your birth date to verify eligibility for membership.
But 44% of members are currently still working, Jason. So you're not a retired person.
So now this is interesting. I'm clicking on the website, and it says I could join for 5 years for $55, so just $11. But
what a deal!
That's not what. Like the mailer I got was like 5 years for $79. So I guess that
online discount,
that free cooler isn't so dang free, is it? AARP. Already I'm getting ripped off by these guys. Texters. Jason, wait till you get all the junk mail with AARP return addresses on them. Or just go for it, and then you won't get all that junk mail over all the, yeah. But then another texter says, join AARP only if you want 10 times as much junk mail. That's true. Is that it? They just want my address, and now it, Jason, don't feel bad. I got a senior discount at White Castle, and I'm 51. I don't think I would take a senior discount today. If you were offered a senior discount, Dan, would you take it, or would you be like,
I mean, how much of a discount are we talking?
How much? What is my dignity worth? 20%.
Yeah, that's fair.
10? No. Nah, I'm not old enough. I would.
Well,
say.
And it also depends on the size of the bill, right?
True.
I mean, if you're talking about a couple
Like a
$100
car?
bill and they say 10% off, okay, I'm in.
I'd take a senior discount on a car.
Heck yeah.
Hotel room, maybe. Mike in Woodbury. Mike, what is your dignity worth? What percent discount do you need to take the senior discount?
I'll tell you the truth. I mean, I really don't pay much with the seniors because I have enough gray hair that convinces a lot of people to give me enough discounts because once they see my gray hair, some of these people just suddenly kind of just jump ahead of the presumption that I'm a senior or whatever, even though, I mean, my hair started getting gray when I was like late 30s and everything, and now I'm in early 50s. I'm completely silver, and I don't need the AARP because I don't like calling it. I used to call it double AARP, but it rhymes like the name WKRP in Cincinnati.
It does. It does sound like
so
that.
They just say, oh, well, here's senior. I had that at the state fair before. I've had one at one of the wine vineyards out west, and it was in the Dakotas.
Yeah.
They said, oh, here's 15% off since you're a senior. I said, well, I told myself, it pays to have gray hair. It pays to be silver here, you know. I don't need AARP here.
Right.
And I was getting it when I was in my 40s, all sorts of discounts. They said, because they said, oh, you're a senior. We'll give you additional 10, 15% off. And I said, hey.
Yeah,
my
why not?
hair really gets it.
Why
I
not?
don't need that card, you know.
Yeah, I like it. Thanks, Mike. Texter says, I just turned 80 with a big old surprise party put on by my kids. I loved it. Join anything that gets a discount. Why not? Age is just a number. Doesn't really matter. It's true. Texters say they like the magazine. Another texter saying, wait till you get the cremation funeral ads. I mean, honestly, like a little pre-planning, I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that. It is true. Another texter saying, it might seem morbid, but I know a lot of people who would have loved to live long enough to get the senior discount. That is true. The beauty of you guys is like as soon as someone texts in kind of a thoughtful, like life-affirming, like don't rue the fact that you're getting old. Be grateful that you get to celebrate a birthday that others don't. That gets followed up by someone texting, do they offer discounts on coffins? You guys are like, I feel like our audience pretty much summarizes like my sensibilities as well. We could go from like the sweet, syrupy maudlin to the smart aleck and morbid. We have it all here on Drive Time. The mayor of Minneapolis will join us in just a couple of minutes. He vetoed an eviction pause that has opponents saying that Jacob Frey is siding with landlords and siding against people who might be in jeopardy of not being able to pay their rent because of what's been going on over the last couple months related to the surge of ICE agents. We'll talk to the mayor and ask him what he's thinking and why he made that choice in just a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you go to J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina and you see my guy Kevin, ask him for the senior discount. Tell him DeRUSH said that Kevin would give you a senior discount. You don't need to be a senior. You don't need to get a discount. What you do need is the incredible service that you get for the team at J.H. & Sons. It's Jason here. I'm so grateful to speak for the Halberstadt family. Jeff Halberstadt has done such a job building a beautiful, beautiful store at the Galleria in Edina. Premium men's clothing, top-notch suits. They really made their name off of men's suits. So you got a wedding coming up, you have a graduation, a special event, or maybe you want to up your game at the office. No brainer. Go see the team at J.H. & Sons. They have a tailor on site every day that not only can they tailor your suit, I've had them tailor just a button-up shirt so it's not so like big and so it fits right. J.H. & Sons is all about premium clothing, making you look and feel confident, look and feel your best. So what are you waiting for? Go see Kevin, go see Bryce, go see Chuck, go see the whole team at J.H. & Sons. They're at the Galleria in Edina. Plenty of parking, so easy to get to off a ton of major highways. You can sign up for their email list, too, to be the first to know about special events. They've got one going on this Saturday, in fact. Do it at jhandsons.com.
March in Minnesota isn't so much a month as a mood swing. Dressed in everything from snow boots to Crocs. Nobody covers the transition like we do. The twins are tuning up, lawmakers are debating, families are packing for spring break, and we're all bracing for more potholes. Winter's grip is slipping. Minnesota's voice is just getting warmed up. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Is life insurance on your list of New Year's resolutions? Now is the perfect time to add it. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
This is an important message for anyone struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans. Due to ongoing inflation, job loss, and the rising cost of living, many Americans are facing overwhelming credit card balances. If you're drowning in credit card debt, you may qualify for powerful debt relief options currently being offered by National Debt Relief that can significantly reduce what you owe. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a debt consolidation loan. You could qualify for this debt relief option and only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. Act now to see if you qualify. With thousands of 5-star reviews online and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, National Debt Relief has helped over 1 million consumers with their debt that qualified for this relief option. So don't wait. Call the Debt Reduction Hotline now. Dial 800-428-5757. 800-428-5757. That's 800-428-5757.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Up on the north side of the metro, we do have a crash working for West 94's make way past Brooklyn Boulevard. The traffic is slowing as you make way toward Brooklyn Boulevard. Opens up past the crash, only to slow again at Hemlock Lane. 694 eastbound is jammed up, 252 to Matterhorn. West 94 slows into Minneapolis as you move past Riverside. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You sit on your deck, and you're sick of looking at your crappy siding. Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. JTR Roofing has you covered from the roof on down, serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by JTR Roofing. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The heavier snow up north, the rain and snow near us, that will move out tonight, but the wind is going to get stronger. A high wind warning in play with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Average wind speeds will be from the northwest 15 to 25 as we fall back to 26. We'll see sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. Still windy, but finally backing off late in the day. Just a raw day, though. Only a high of 37. Most of Saturday is fine. Get your running around done because that snow arrives by evening after a high of 38. A winter storm watch that does include the Twin Cities that rolls until 7 a.m. on Monday. 6 to 12 inches of snow possible. Some could see even higher amounts.
All right, we'll be watching for that. There are some big, crazy numbers floating around social media. It is 42 degrees in downtown Minneapolis on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Big controversy in Minneapolis about what to do with people who are worried about paying their rent. You maybe heard it at the top of the hour news here on CCO. There are a number of city council members, a number of advocates who are upset that the mayor of Minneapolis vetoed a city council plan that would have given people, instead of the usual 30 days that are required in advance notice for you to be evicted, it would give another 30. So basically a pause on evictions for another 30 days. The mayor vetoed it. And a lot of people are furious. We wanted to ask the mayor what he was thinking. And Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey joins us at the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline to talk about this controversy. All right, Mayor, why did you veto this eviction pause?
We're trying to do things that do good and don't just sound good. And as you know, Jason, we've been through emergencies before where we're trying to get programs set up in short order. And some of those programs in the past, especially through COVID-19, hit the mark and some of them didn't. What we know that worked is emergency rental assistance. It got people money in their pocket, ability to pay the rent. They didn't incur debt. And we prevented people from going homeless. It worked. You know what didn't work is these eviction moratoriums or pauses. What ends up happening is that people incur a ton of debt. It's not like it's a pause on the requirement to pay rent. You still got to pay rent. Only difference is they don't pay rent then for many months. And with no promises that additional money is going to come in from the state legislature or the federal government, I don't want to put people in the position where they're sacked with a ton of debt facing eviction. And then we've overpromised that government's going to come in for them. And then there's this massive under delivery that doesn't work for anybody. So again, rather than do something that we know doesn't work, let's do something that works in the form of emergency rental assistance. And I'll just add, we did this eviction moratorium before. And what we saw following the lifting of it was record evictions. And so, I supported that eviction moratorium during COVID. And candidly, I've learned that that is not the best way to do it. It resulted in more evictions.
I think the rental assistance part of this makes perfect sense. And we had a landlord call our show yesterday when we were talking about this. And the landlord said, look, I do rent to a number of immigrants. I love my immigrant renters. I want them to be able to pay their rent. But when you do the moratorium, this landlord said it doesn't address their problem, which is they need money. And she also said this isn't COVID, where it's not all of the renters who are in this situation. It's more targeted. I guess what I don't understand is why not do both? Why not give people 60, give them 30 more days where it's like a little heads up if you're going to evict someone? Why not do that and the rental assistance?
Right. Well, that's the right question to ask. And I think you kind of answered it, which is it is a broad-based, blunt policy as opposed to a targeted one. We want to have targeted assistance to go to the people that need it, that were impacted by Operation Metro Surge. And you don't need to take my word for it, what's the best policy in doing so. You could talk to these shelter providers and affordable housing providers. We got letters and positions from like 14 of them. We're talking about, Project for Pride and Living. We're talking about Aon, Simpson Housing. And they were very clear. Emergency rental assistance works, but the pause on evictions, it just results in more people ultimately getting evicted, And so again, it sounds good, obviously it sounds good.
Well, and you're being portrayed as like you're on team big landlord. Some city council members stood in front of a banner that said Jacob Frey's eviction machine. I mean, this is sort of how this gets distilled.
Well, they want to simplify it because they're just chasing the politics, and that's unfortunate. But, apparently I'm on team big shelter because I'm on the side of the shelter providers. The shelter providers are saying, hey, the right way to do this is emergency rental assistance.
We're not talking big money here. This is, this is Catholic Charities. This is Aon, which does a lot with homeless people, agate housing. I mean, this is not, and also like the idea that every landlord in Minneapolis is sitting on a beach, sipping margaritas and trying to screw over people is a little reductive.
That's exactly right. And, I've heard some of the things that the council members are saying. I've seen this. We've seen this before. They're trying to find the fault line. Haven't been able to find it for a few months here because, we've all been on the same side of trying to get ICE out of the city. Eventually I'm like, all right, this particular policy that they put forward, it doesn't work. It's wrong-headed. The shelters are not on their side on this,
So here's the reality of the challenge, though. If you are someone that, because of the surge, you were unable to make money over the last 2 months, the rental assistance, if the council, if you're able to fund that more, and there's some state discussion about money coming in, are people going to be able to get the money in time to stave off being evicted in 30 days?
Well, that's the whole goal here, is that we get this emergency rental assistance out in very short order. We have the ability to do it. Again, the argument that I've heard from council members and others is let's enact this eviction pause and give time to get money from the state legislature. Well, here's the thing. We have no promises. In fact, there is no commitment that the state legislature is going to be able to come through with this money. They've said don't count on it. And so to create a pause where people aren't paying rent only to set them up for a non-delivery of additional emergency rental assistance, I don't think that's right. You're selling people a bale of goods then. And again, we've learned from experience here what works and what doesn't. And even if it sounds good, it sounds like, some of these council members are chasing what sounds good. We got to do good here.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is with us. Obviously, now that ICE has said that they have reduced the number of agents, the surge is sort of back at least closer to what it was before. What's your assessment? Are you feeling that? Are we feeling it on the streets?
I won't tell you how it feels. I would say you should touch base with the people that have been severely impacted. I will say what we are seeing in terms of the data. Yes, there's a substantial reduction in the number of ICE incidents or ICE actions that have taken place in the city. We were somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 ICE agents and Border Patrol for months there, and now we're looking at several hundred. 400, somewhere in that range. I can't give you an exact figure. And so, yeah, there's been a dramatic reduction in the number of ICE incidents happening in the city, both anecdotally and just the number of calls that we've got coming into 911 that are confirmed. Are we where we want to be yet? No, we're still working. We are still doing everything possible to make sure that our communities are protected through this time and that we get them the assistance that they need to rejuvenate our city.
We have heard over the last couple of weeks, and I cover restaurants, and I think a lot of our listeners, a lot of residents, part of what we love about Minneapolis is the vibrant food community. David FEMA announcing that FEMA's in downtown in City Center is leaving. The owners of Dario and the North Loop have said, hey, you might think we're like this new hot, trendy restaurant, but we're struggling. Even Gavin Kaysen has said, hey, if events and corporate business and some of the weekday stuff doesn't pick up, Spoon and Stable might not be around here in a couple of months. When you look at that landscape, how concerned are you about doing business in Minneapolis right now?
I am concerned when you hear about these businesses over on East Lake Street that are struggling to pay the rent and get their employees into work. That's a problem. When you hear about these restaurants in North Loop that are unable to get the guys that's cooking the burger in the back of the house or the servers in the front of the house in and the customer base in to support those jobs. Yeah, of course it's a concern. So I'm asking everybody this is like the easiest possible ask I could make, is go out, have fun, celebrate our great city, celebrate this city of heroes that we've had over the last several months, support the people that have been through so much in the last couple of months. Have an extra drink, go out and enjoy yourself. I mean, we've got some of the best restaurants, as you mentioned, in the entire world here in our city. Go support them. They certainly need it right now, and I'm going to be doing the same.
Jacob Frey, we appreciate it. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on CCO. Lots of text coming in, lots of reaction. Always welcome. Jason@Odyssey.com is our email. You can sign up for our free email newsletter. We send it out with fun things to do over the weekend, cool ideas of restaurants that are open and news and all sorts of good stuff, plus the best podcast of the week from the show. All of that you can sign up at my website, jasonderusha.com. In just a minute, it's a tragic story. A bear who was shot had to have a leg amputated. But the name that this bear is being given, the three-legged bear, I don't know, man. Stubby? We'll talk about it. And Dan and I have we have opposing viewpoints. We'll bring in an expert to break the tie next.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Finding good deals on insurance can be a lot of work, right? You have to do the research, figure out who you're going to call, run a bunch of comparisons. It's exhausting. Who wants to deal with that? On this week, as we start to think about the luck of the Irish, I want you to know that luck is not the best way to guide when you're spending thousands of dollars a year on your home and auto insurance. Instead, I want you to use a real strategy, and that is going to the Canopy Group, thecanopygroup.com. It's Jason. They are my insurance agency, and what I love about the Canopy Group is the people, they're local, the service they provide when you need them, and the fact that you have access to 16 different insurance companies, not just one. You have 50 different professionals all teamed up to provide you with the best service in town. Now, having 16 different companies means when you call the Canopy Group, they will run your scenario through all these companies, get you the best coverage at the best price. Home, auto insurance. I save more than $800 by calling 800-967-3389. What will you save? Find out. Let me know after you find out how much money you're going to save or how much your coverage is going to be better. Go to thecanopygroup.com. Get a quote. Do it today.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
When you're in pain, you need the Good Feet store. Don't waste another minute suffering from foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store for your no-obligation custom fitting. You'll immediately feel the difference.
I walked right into the Good Feet store and I tried the Good Feet Arch Support System, and my hip pain is gone, went away.
The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to put your foot in the most ideal position, redistributing the body weight more evenly, helping to relieve pain and stress in the body.
That nagging pain in my lower back, gone.
The Good Feet store has over 350 styles and sizes to relieve your pain.
I've always had bad knees. I've had 6 surgeries, and I could never do a knee bend. Now I can do a knee bend. I'm working out, and it's just wonderful.
Call 855-554-3338 or stop by our locations in Roseville, Maple Grove, Burnsville, and Woodbury. Step into pain relief.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, girl.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Bit slow as you travel across town eastbound 100 over 2 Cedar Avenue. Southbound 35W seeing slowdowns from 98 straight down to Highway 13. If you're over on the east side of the metro, 35 east southbound, no problems there. Jump out of St. Paul heading down to 494 with speeds continuing to hold at the posted. And 694 eastbound, some slowing between 120 and Highway 36 right now. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast is for winter returning. No doubt tonight we got a high wind warning in effect until 10 in the morning tomorrow. Rain mixing with a few flakes. Low of 26, 15 to 25 mile an hour sustained winds. Tomorrow, 37 is the high. Saturday night, snow. Winter storm watch Saturday from 7 p.m. till Monday. You'll hear some crazy numbers on social media. I'm not going to say them here. I'm a responsible broadcaster. But you're going to want to stay tuned to CCO over the next couple of days. Right now, it is high winds. Yep, and it's, I don't know, what's the temperature? 42 on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRUSH.
Please call into the Jason DeRUSH show.
Let's go.
If you have something to say to the people of Minnesota, say it on the radio.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Dan and I have talked before about our frustration that zoos and rescues and everybody in the world wants to do a contest for every new baby animal they have. It's like, have a little intestinal fortitude. Name the dang animal yourself. And then we saw this story in the Star Tribune, which maybe makes you wonder, perhaps we should have polled the audience. A black bear was shot and survived thanks to an animal rescue. And they had to amputate one of the legs. And so now the black bear has 3 legs and has been given the name Stubby. Stubby, the 3-legged bear. Dan, when you saw this article that the black bear was named Stubby, your reaction was?
Hasn't the bear been through enough? Really? We got to call him Stubby? Really?
My reaction was, hey, when you got 3 legs, you got to make 3 lemonade out of the situation.
Oh, my God.
And the bear doesn't know what we're calling the bear. Let's have some fun. Stubby. It's fine. It's nothing to be offended about. But when Dan and I kind of are deadlocked on our views, I like to bring in someone maybe with some expertise in the area to break the ties. So we go to Chris Eggert from 5 Eyewitness News. I don't know why
By the way, I don't. By the way, Jason, I don't speak for all amputees. Just to be clear.
Well, I mean,
you are on this show, Chris.
It is now. I keep getting mixed up. They're calling this bear Stubby. Do you? And I keep thinking it's Stumpy. Is one of those better than the other?
I think Stubby and Stumpy are both pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
I have some questions for you.
Sure.
What was the bear's name before the amputation?
I believe
Bob
the bear.
No,
I'm
I
told.
don't think he actually.
Well, the bear was pretty quiet when he was brought to the Wild and Free Animal Rescue in Garrison, Minnesota, on the shores of.
Of course, he was quiet. He'd been shot.
Yeah, so we didn't know.
Who is it? The rescue that named him?
I don't know. The quote was from a gentleman named Ben Hewson, who works at DZ Heavy Diesel Repair Shop in Pequot Lakes, because that's who saw the bear, kind of, in the wild, who looked.
Sure.
I mean, maybe I don't want to accuse Ben or the fine people of DZ Heavy Diesel Repair. I'm not going to say they might have shot the bear. I don't know. We don't know. But he named the bear.
I think you just cast some false light there.
Yeah,
and
kind of
like
didn't he?
I said I'm not going to. I thought I was very clear.
Part of that.
Very clear.
Okay. Let's see. I saw the article and I scanned by it because honestly, I did an eye roll on it because that is what some of us call ampu-porn.
Oh.
It is some clickbaity story just for the sake of getting discussion on the radio, which they've got, to talk about an amputee bear when generally speaking, nobody cares about an amputee bear.
Well,
so,
I love a survivor.
I mean, are you saying they should have just let him die? I mean, what do you?
No, I'm glad they saved the bear. Don't get me wrong. This is tough. If it were a human being, I would not want to call a human being Stubby or Stumpy or whatever it is. But it's not. It's a bear.
It's a
right?
bear. Right.
And it's a weird thing when you've got this sort of situation going on. You sort of get the ability to joke about it, but it's not really anyone else's thing to joke about.
Right.
Unless they've kind of done it.
True.
So I would say if the bear was making jokes and calling himself Stubby or Stumpy or whatever,
it'd be fine,
and everyone else jumped along like, oh, the bear's into it.
Right. It's like you're allowed to make jokes about yourself, but if some shock jock radio host, for example, like called you up to make you weigh in on an amputee bear, that's maybe over the line by him.
I'm just saying, I want to know what the bear's name was before. If its name was Fred, and now all of a sudden he's Stubby/Stumpy, then I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
If he was just bear number 9, or even if he didn't have a name.
Probably didn't have a name. I'm going to assume he didn't have a name. He was out in the wild. But maybe he had like some annoying trendy name, like, Zestiny or Garland or Septimus or Braden or Brandon or Broden or, one of those names.
Yeah, Brody. Could have been a Brody. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you, though, about if I could deflect this just a little bit.
Sure.
I hate the contest that everyone's getting sucked into these days of naming things. Oh my God, just stop with that already.
So annoying. So annoying. But then who sucks it up? Morning TV news anchors and idiot afternoon drive hosts.
No, I always voice my displeasure.
That's why we love you. Chris Eggert, everybody. Thanks, Chris.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old. So. And those Sleep Night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those Sleep Night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those Sleep Night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
News Talk 830 WCCO, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A vehicle ramming incident at the Temple Israel Synagogue in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan is under investigation. The suspect was engaged by security guards and is dead. An injured security guard was taken to a hospital. President Trump says he has been fully briefed, and he and the First Lady send their love to the Jewish community.
It's a terrible thing, but it goes on. We're going to be right down to the bottom of it. It's absolutely incredible that things like this happen.
Two law enforcement sources tell CBS News the suspect's body is badly burned, complicating identification, and there were mortar-type explosives in the vehicle. CBS News Detroit's Lauren Winfrey is at the scene.
We're seeing families reunited with their children. In fact, some of them even being escorted by police. We just saw that happen just a bit ago. So a lot of police presence out here, a lot of emergency vehicles. Nothing active happening right now.
CBS's Scott McFarland reports.
The broader concern comes from FBI bulletins we've been reading over the last few weeks and months. They have been issuing warnings from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security about extra potential targeting of Jewish institutions across America.
The suspect in a shooting today at Old Dominion University in Virginia is an ex-Army National Guard member with a past terror conviction. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
One person was killed and two others hurt in the shooting. The gunman is also dead. He's been identified by law enforcement as Mohammed Baylor Jallow, a former Virginia National Guardsman. He pleaded guilty in 2016 to attempting to provide ISIS with material support. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison and released in December of 24. He reportedly became radicalized while still in the Guard, listening to lectures by the former leader of al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula.
Iran's secretive top leader vows to keep up attacks in his first statement since being appointed. As CBS's Charlie D'Agata in Tel Aviv reports.
They've shown with their reach that they can go after areas like off the coast of Iraq, going after Bahrain, going after Oman. This is where the Iranians have shown that they have got that reach. They'll continue to fire with those drones, despite what President Trump and the U.S. military is trying to do to stop those launches.
The Artemis 2 moon mission launch was postponed after fuel leaks and other issues forced NASA to roll the spacecraft off the launch pad for repairs. Today, some good news for NASA. The rocket is expected to be rolled out to the launch pad next week. NASA's Dr. Lori Glaze.
Pending completion of the work in the VAB and at the pad, we are on track for a launch as early as April 1st.
This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at jtv.com.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, 42 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Weather first. A high wind warning kicks in tonight with rain and maybe a few flakes in the forecast as well. But the bigger story is shaping up to be what's in store for us this weekend. A winter storm watch is now in effect from Saturday evening through Monday morning. Forecasters are saying 6 to 10 inches of heavy snow is likely for pretty much the southern half of Minnesota, with more than a foot in some areas. The National Weather Service saying this storm that is expected to blanket the upper Midwest has a remarkable precipitation footprint. So take that for what you will. Renters advocates demonstrating today over Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey's veto this week of a new measure passed by the city council that would require landlords to wait 60 instead of 30 days before filing an eviction notice. It follows a rash of evictions involving residents who were afraid to leave their homes and go to their jobs during Operation Metro Surge. Twin Cities Tenants Union spokesman Charlie Tyree with a message to council members who have the power to override that veto.
Just because the mayor's in the landlord's pockets doesn't mean you have to be. You still have a chance to protect our neighbors. Override this veto. It's the least you can do.
Mayor Frey telling Jason last hour that supporters of the pause are banking on money from the legislature to help make it happen, which he says is not a given.
And so to create a pause where people aren't paying rent, only to set them up for a non-delivery of additional emergency rental assistance, I don't think that's right. You're selling people a bale of goods then.
Frey announcing his own plan to help renters this week. It would provide an additional $1 million in emergency rental assistance that residents could access immediately without having to prove that they were facing eviction. A hearing in federal court in St. Paul today over the federal government's freezing of $259 million in Medicaid funding for Minnesota. The state appealed that decision, saying the freeze amounts to retaliation by the Trump administration and that no funding can be withheld until the appeal process is complete. An attorney for the administration today telling the judge the burden is on Minnesota to prove it can manage funds properly. Judge Eric Tostrud has taken the arguments under advisement and says he expects to make a decision soon. The Minneapolis Fire Department investigating the city's first fire-related fatality of the year happened late last night after crews were called to a house fire on the 4400 block of 32nd Avenue South. Firefighters found an unconscious man in the basement. He later died at the hospital. And a new concert venue in North Minneapolis expected to break ground soon.
Groundbreaking for the 8,000-seat Upper Harbor Amphitheater, initially scheduled for last September, will now occur this spring. City Council member Latricia Vita explains the delay.
Getting everything lined up, permits, and the construction and everything is just behind altogether. And so I think finally we've made it to the top of the list to start.
Opening in 2027, this will greatly impact the North Minneapolis community.
Jobs is the main thing, right? Like, we need more of that. We need more people in the community to have opportunities to go over and work there. And this would be one of the places they could work on to ensure that they have a full-time job working at stadiums. And that could be like production teams, food.
Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Flint Hills Resources Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemont produces important transportation fuels used throughout the Midwest, but they're also active in the community. They support many programs and organizations that make Minnesota better. Go to FHR.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you in part by Flint Hills Resources, traveling 94 eastbound, some slowing into St. Paul as you make way past Dale Street. 94 westbound, moving into downtown Minneapolis. Looks like we've got some problems now in the area of Cedar Avenue. Traffic is already slow as you come in from Riverside to the tunnel. Traveling west 94 past Brooklyn Boulevard. Looks like we still have a vehicle up behind from an earlier crash. Traffic slows past the scene, opens up only to slow again at Hemlock Lane. And now it looks like we may have issues with a crash 94 westbound, the area of Brockton Lane. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And with that, here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The rain and snow will move out tonight. It's all about the wind. A high wind warning, which includes a good chunk of the state and the Twin Cities metro. We could catch gusts up over 50 miles per hour. We'll drop back to 26 average wind speeds from the northwest, 15 to 25 miles per hour. We'll see some sunshine tomorrow. Cool sunshine, only a high of 37. It will still be windy, finally dying off later in the day. Saturday, that snow arrives by evening. It's a big one. A winter storm watch already in place. Some places could see 6 to 12 inches, others over a foot of snow.
Cloudy right now, 42 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Where Minnesota checks in and finds its voice.
Long-time caller, first-time listener.
News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, here's Jason DeRUSH.
Kind of a weird topic to start this hour based on a conversation that I had with a friend over at Minneapolis Club Monday night. So I'm sitting at the bar, and a friend of mine starts talking about a house that she is very interested to buy, except this house has a history. I'll get into that specific in a minute. Would you buy a house knowing that something bad happened in it? 651-461-9226. The classic sort of conversation about this is, would you buy a house if you knew someone was murdered inside? Would you? I don't know. I tell you, there's... Alyssa and I are having this discussion right now. Not about a house where somebody was murdered. This sort of scenario, fortunately, comes up very rarely, where you're faced with, am I going to pick this house where someone was murdered in it or not? But for Alyssa and me, the discussion is about a friend's house, and they're going through a divorce. And these people are still our friends, right? And they're both our friends. And so would it be weird to buy their house? That's sort of on the one extreme of this. The other extreme of this is like a murder or a death or something, There's been some research on this, weirdly. YouGov did a survey asking, would you buy a home where there was a murder? And, I mean, this sounds so crazy, right? 30% say yes. If I were looking to buy a house, found one that you could afford that met all of your requirements, would you still buy it if you learned the previous homeowners had been murdered in it? About a third of Americans say, yeah. I mean, I guess it's the whole lightning's probably not going to strike twice argument, right? So 30% say yes, 32% no. The other 38% said, I don't know. The other 38% said, what is wrong with you? What sort of lunatic question is this, you weirdo? And then YouGov kind of went on, and they're like, well, what if you believe in demons? If you believe in demons, still 30% would buy it. It doesn't really change that much. If you believe in psychics, though, or you believe in ghosts, that 30 goes down to 24%. I think you have to disclose, right? I feel like this is like a, well, I don't know. Do you have to disclose or not? In Minnesota, sellers do not have to disclose suicides, natural deaths, or accidental deaths. If a death, like a homicide, caused damage to the property, that must be disclosed. So contamination could be considered damage. So that's probably a yes, right? Sort of weird. Now, if a buyer, maybe this is a pro tip if you're shopping for houses. The Minnesota law says if a buyer asks, what sort of psycho home shopper is like, hey, Chris Lindahl, did a death occur in this house? The agent, the real estate agent, cannot lie, but you're not obligated to affirmatively disclose it. This is a rabbit hole that I did not expect to go down. I think a lot of this comes down to whether you view like cosmic events that happen in a house as linked to a physical space. Or is it just like stuff happens everywhere and it's mere coincidence? My friend was struggling with this. I'll be frank, I'm struggling a little bit with this house that Alyssa and I love the house, but doesn't it feel kind of weird? Like, do you want to move in? It's not like it's contagious, but it feels a little weird. And how do you get that out of your head? Where you're like, Mark is in Minneapolis. Mark, would you buy a house if you knew like something weird or something bad happened there?
I suppose that would let's start negotiations then if it's too weird.
Right.
But what I was wondering is, say you get shot at the house and die at the hospital, does that count as a death in the house?
Interesting. I think, so I'm looking at the Minnesota statute here, which what I was hoping to do today, this is my own fault for bringing up this as a topic, because I didn't expect to have to go to Minnesota 513.56, disclosure not required. So disclosure is not required. So an accidental death, no. You do have to disclose, if like there was some damage. So if you were shot in the house and you died at the hospital, I bet you have to disclose that. Maybe a realtor could call in with some advice on this, because I don't know. It's kind of weird.
What about the type of death? Said that it could be a murder, but some murders are worse than others.
True.
You might be able to tolerate maybe a domestic, but I don't necessarily want some sort of psycho murder.
Like a stranger, right? One feels more like a very specific scenario. Interesting. Yeah, thanks, Mark. I think all of those would be factors, right? Texter says, my dad passed away of natural causes in my childhood home, and they have to disclose it. And we've had many people not want the house because of it. I don't know. Well, see, now I'm checking myself where I think like, all right, if somebody dies of natural causes, like that happens. It just happens. And so would that make me not want a house? And now I think about it and like, maybe I wouldn't. Where you think like, you go into that primary bedroom and you're like, oh man, the last guy who slept in this room died in this room. I don't know, like it's a little. Texture points out, Jason, St. Paul is full of ghosts. Sleep with one eye open tonight. I think this is strange. Let's talk to Mike in Delano. I mean, this is like normal people, normal life kind of stuff, right? Where, Mike, you find the perfect home, and then you're like, oh, it's this, or it's someone who got caught up in a news story, or something weird happened in the home. What happened to you?
Well, a long time ago, 40 years ago, my wife and I were first married, and we lived in outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama. And we were house shopping, and realtor had showed us a number of homes, but we kept seeing this one really nice house that had a for sale sign on it, till finally one day we said, hey, show us that house. And they showed us the home, and it was this beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and it had been on the market for almost a year. And at that time in Alabama, they did not have to disclose. Well, we did a little bit of our own digging, went and talked to some neighbors, and found out tragically that a young couple had it was a murder-suicide.
Oh. Huh.
And we thought about it, and the price that was being listed for was extremely low for that area, that type of home. The home was only 3 years old. And we went ahead and said, okay, we're taking it. And we took it and lived there for 5 years. And guess what? Absolutely nothing happened. It was a great home. We made a huge profit.
This sounds pretty good. This worked out great for you, Mike.
It turned out wonderful, and it was a very nice home.
Oh, see, if you can get by it, that's a great story.
Yeah. Yeah, tragic. I know it was tragic what happened.
Well, for sure, right? Like, and those things happen, and that's where sort of that weighing of this, like, is this something you can get over or is it not? I think it's an interesting dilemma for sure. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. There goes Mike in Delano. Let's take a break. Jeff, hang on. Lots of texts coming in, too. Texter says, don't go to a hospital. You're 100% going to be in a bed where someone died. Well, I don't have to choose to live there, right? Like, I'm not, well, for what it costs to go to the hospital, maybe it is like you're buying that bed for sure. Drive Time back in a minute on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, after hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today! Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words switch today in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
What's with the encyclopedia?
The word Corbin symbolizes intelligence and foresight.
Is that important?
Sure is, because Corbin is also the name of Barufka's popular bedroom collection for people with the foresight and intelligence to understand long-term value.
A platform bed with sleek, modern lines, ideal for smaller bedrooms, and clutter-free functionality with integrated AC and USB outlets.
I can finally get my extension cords back.
Available in solid oak, maple, and cherry.
The patented Barufka's bracket assures everything will stay tight. Built in Minnesota, a queen bed is Craftsman Direct priced from $21.75 or $91 per month for 24 months.
It says here Corbin also means raven or crow.
It's time for me to fly.
Oh, Jim. Barufka's, no gimmicks, haggling, or hard to understand pricing in Woodbury, Burnsville, and Minnetonka.
Decidedly different.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't
Don't waste another minute suffering from foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store for your no-obligation custom fitting. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Call 855-554-3338 or stop by our locations in Roseville, Maple Grove, Burnsville, and Woodbury.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Step into pain relief.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Your daily detour into sharper conversation. Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Would you buy a house that had a murder in it? 651-461-9226. We bought a house, says a 651er. Found out later one of the previous owners was murdered there. It's a little weird, right? Texter says, my dad died in my brother's home now, and every time we go there, the dog won't go into that room ever again. Yeah. Another texter, many years ago, my wife and I divorced. Years later, I had a girlfriend, and we bought a house together and moved in. My ex approached my new wife and bought her townhouse. Everything worked great. That's wild, right? Texter says, we asked the realtor, found out 5 people died in that home we were looking at. Then we read the newspaper reports, and it was a murder. Did not buy the house. Jeff in Sauk Rapids is on CCO. Jeff, would you buy a house that you knew like something, like there was a death or a murder or something weird there?
Sure. In fact, I did. I have 2 related stories, actually. I don't know if you remember a few years ago, a small private aircraft, crashed in Sauk Rapids and hit a house.
Oh, yeah.
They were flying low, and it was overflown by a jetliner going into the airport. And I think the jet wash got them. Anyway, the pilot and passenger were killed. Nobody in the house was home. And anyway, they cleaned it all up. The guy had the lot for sale. It was a $50,000 lot at the time. Nobody wanted it. I bought it for $14,000. Built a new house. I'm still in it.
Huh? That's pretty good. Nothing. No weird mojo in there from it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. No.
Yeah.
And then, in fact, after my parents had died, a few years apart, but they were really big on staying in their house to the extent that they hired a healthcare assistant.
So they could stay there.
And,
sure.
So my dad died in the house. Later on, my mother died in the house. And when we cleaned it up to sell it, my brother and I each had, those little gold crosses that they put on the coffin.
Yeah.
We had each saved one from each. I didn't know what to do with them. I thought it'd probably be appropriate just to leave those crosses in the house with them, and I threw them up into the attic.
Yeah, that's a little extra guardian watching over, right? Yeah.
Right, and I sold the house in about 3 weeks at full price.
See, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. I think, I mean, we're emotional about our houses, right? And some of us are more emotional than others. When Dan and I were first talking about this, you were sort of like, it's a house. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, the scenario that you painted when we were discussing it was somebody had been killed somewhere.
Not in the house.
Not in the house. but this is the house that they lived in, and now it was being sold, and would that somehow attach relevance? And in that kind of scenario, I'd be significantly more concerned about if some sort of crime had happened at the
In the
location.
house?
But the fact that somebody that lived there had some misfortune.
So
some
in this
tragedy,
scenario that I was talking about with a friend, it's a house where the child died, and so you're thinking about moving your child into a bedroom that, the child never came home to that bedroom. So that's sort of the emotion there. Like, is that right? And my view was that just knowing this person, what a beautiful and loving person this is, that it would be good because sort of your child's light would carry that child's light forward, was kind of my view. Now, I hate to ruin my image by making myself sound like a caring person. This is completely going to botch my bit on this show. Karen in Fort Myers, bail me out here. I don't want people to know that I'm saying nice things to people. That's not helpful. Have you ever faced this, Karen?
Yeah, Jason, it's Karen. What an interesting topic. In about 2 more weeks, I will celebrate a year of being a widow, as I came home and found my husband had died out in our yard off of the pickup out in Spring Valley, just east of Hudson.
Sure.
And I made the decision that I couldn't stay there living any longer because I came home and found him gone already. And so, I put the place up for sale and everything. And the question did come about in my mind, is this something I should be disclosing? And the realtor and I talked, and it wasn't something that was top of the discussion. I did end up sharing it with a couple people who came and looked at the house, and the young man who ended up buying it knew the whole story and didn't have a problem with it. But interesting topic, because it's sad, and I, for one, couldn't keep living there, of course.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm down here watching the Twins for the month. So
Beautiful.
Good to hear you. Good to listen to you on the Odyssey app. So thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Karen. Thanks for calling in, and congrats on kind of making it through. It is tough. I do think you face a different emotion when it's your space. You think about that with death. You think about that with divorce. Like, when your life circumstance changes, do you want to be in the same place? And maybe you do. Maybe it anchors you in a way, and maybe it acts like an anchor. It could go either way. Kurt's in Faribault. Kurt, thanks for listening. You're on CCO. Go ahead.
I love the show. I grew up in Waseca, and when I was ready to buy my first starter house, I went through a real estate agent that I knew from town. His name was Blair Nelson. And when I started looking at houses, I remember taking a business law class, and the instructor saying that at that time in the state of Minnesota, if the sellers believed a house to be haunted, they had to disclose that. And so I said to Blair at this one house that I ended up buying, I said, "Is this house haunted?" And he laughed. He said, "Oh, no. But we've had some other houses that have had spooky things happen." So I bought the house and moved in, and I had this crabby old lady living next to me, and I tried everything I could do to be nice to her and be a good neighbor. And finally, one day when I got a puppy, she warmed up to me, and she opened her window and said, "Bring that puppy over here." So I went over to her house, and we're sitting in her front room, and she's telling me about the people that built the house. She said that she grew up next door to them, and they were actually the people, or I bought the house from the wife. And she said, "Yep, I lived here all my life, and one day they said, 'Helen, you better get over here quick because Jack's not doing good.' And by the time I got over to your house there, he was dead in the front bedroom." And I was like, oh, gosh, I didn't need to know that. But I never had anything spooky happen. But it was funny how she almost took joy and pleasure in telling me that somebody had died in my house. So,
right. There is just, that weirdness of it. Oh, that's good. Kurt, thank you. Thanks for calling. Thanks for listening. Very great contributions by you guys. Just, it's an interesting sort of scenario, the baggage that can be in a place, even though it's just a place. And even though maybe it's just in our head, but I don't know, sometimes it's more. We'll break in just a minute. We're going to take you to California and talk with a winemaker who's going to be coming to town for the Minnesota Monthly Food and Wine Experience. Cynthia Lohr in just a minute on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The one real estate agent that really gets results, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Paul joins us now. What was your experience like working with the Schuster Group?
We had heard a number of their radio spots on WCCO, and we also attended John and Paul Douglas's home selling seminar. Tim and Abby came out and met with us.
How were they?
I have one word, and that's exceptional. They went above and beyond our expectations. We put our house on the market on a Thursday morning, and within 48 hours, we had 7 offers. We were able to fortunately sell our house for over $50,000 over ask. John and his team deliver exactly what they say they're going to deliver. You know, I truly think these are people that have your best interest in mind. If we had to do this all over again, there's only one phone call I would make, and that'd be to Tim and Abby Lehman.
952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
It's Tiki Barber with 2 words any business owner wants to hear: extra income. Amazon Hub Delivery is looking for ambitious business owners in your area to assist with local deliveries. You get paid for each package delivered. Amazon Hub Delivery has no startup costs, no long-term contracts, and no delivery experience required. If you're a local business ready to assist with Amazon deliveries, sign up today at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
Chad back here with you on CCO. I want to talk insurance and the group I have trusted for 30 years. Not just me, my father, my boys. We have been with Amber Scholl and Associates the entire time. They are with American Family, and trust is the right word. When something awful happens with your business or your home or your car, you need people who are available. You need individuals who have a team, and they've handled every situation. Amber and her team have done that. Let's be honest. Insurance rates are complicated. You need someone who knows this business in all ways, and I wouldn't be with Amber for 30 years unless I totally believed in her. Call today, 651-738-4811, and tell me you heard this spot from Chad on CCO.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Hey, Twins fans, it's time for spring training at Fort Myers. Cheer on your favorite team at Hammond Stadium within the Lee Health Sports Complex. Then explore our islands, beaches, and neighborhoods between games. Sink your toes into white sand. Discover lush nature preserves filled with wildlife. And dine on fresh Gulf seafood. Turning your love for baseball into a relaxing vacation just feels right. Start planning at visitfortmyers.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for downtown Minneapolis, traveling eastbound 394, coming in from 100. Typical slowdowns these days. 694 eastbound, watching slowdowns there as make way past Humboldt, heading out toward Central Avenue. 610, seeing some slowdowns both directions between 252 and Humboldt. If you're going to be traveling up on the northwest corner in 169, looking pretty good as you come up from 610 to the downtown Champlain. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, we are keeping an eye on this weekend and the weather forecast and potential snow. What? Massive numbers, too. Here's Chris Schaefer.
The heavier snow up north, the rain and snow near us, that will move out tonight, but the wind is going to get stronger. A high wind warning in play with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Average wind speeds will be from the northwest 15 to 25 as we fall back to 26. We'll see sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. Still windy, but finally backing off late in the day. Just a raw day, though. Only a high of 37. Most of Saturday is fine. Get your running around done because that snow arrives by evening after a high of 38. A winter storm watch that does include the Twin Cities that rolls until 7 a.m. on Monday. 6 to 12 inches of snow possible. Some could see even higher amounts.
Yeah, I just looked out the window. A little bit of light rain happening here in downtown Minneapolis. Radar shows rain all over the Twin Cities. Some heavy stuff on the way to Shakopee and Chanhassen. In Minneapolis right now, it is 41 on CCO.
Jason DeRUSH.
I mean, the truth is, I am a terrible influence on Minnesota, on America, and perhaps the world.
Well, I've known that for years, but other people are just finding out.
On News Talk 830 WCCO. DeRUSH. He has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRUSH Eats.
And DeRUSH Eats is brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board, which I saw my friends from the Pork Board this morning. I'll talk about that coming up in a couple of minutes. But first, we're talking wine, and some of the best winemakers from all over America will be here in the Twin Cities this weekend for Minnesota Monthly's Food and Wine Experience, coming back to Target Center on Saturday and Sunday. Other events going on Thursday, tonight, and Friday. And I'm so excited to visit with Cynthia Lohr, the owner and chief brand officer of J.Lohr Vineyards and Wines, who is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Cynthia, so good to visit with you.
Hey, Jason. Thank you so much for having me.
J.Lohr has wines that come from all over. You're in Paso, right? But you have some Napa Valley. You have. I mean, just beautiful wines, and I think Paso Robles is one of the most underrated wine regions in America.
Oh, thank you, Jason. It is a hot spot, and I don't mean that just because of how fabulous the wines are. In Paso Robles, we see a 50-degree diurnal temperature spread often, which basically means that in the daytime, it could be 100 degrees. At nighttime, it could be 50 degrees, and that really contributes to exceptional flavors and quality because of the bold concentrated grapes. But yes, we grow in Monterey County, just an hour north as well, where my father first put boots in the ground, and a small plot in St. Helena named after my mother, Carol. That's Carol's Vineyard.
So you grew up in the family business, right?
I did.
And did you know that you wanted to follow in the family footsteps, or did you have like a rebellious period where you're like, there's no way in heck I want to be out in horse country, farming grapes and dealing with all of this stuff?
Oh, such a great question. Well, when I was home from college at one moment during a pivotal milestone in our company growth, I think we had hit about 250,000 cases in the mid-'80s or so. I heard my father talking about building brand, and so I knew that I wanted to be a part of it at some point. I just didn't know what role I would play. So I actually started out in the late 80s, both in the quality control lab and also in the tasting room, and decided that I needed to find out what I was made of. So I took a 10-year detour and launched some technology companies and built my transferable skill set, and actually came back to the family business 25 years ago.
Pretty cool. And now J.Lohr, which you guys have, I'm the food editor at Minnesota Monthly Magazine. You guys have been a part of our food and wine show for so long. I wanted you to talk a little bit about the Touching Lives program, this partnership that you guys have with the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to do so. So we lost my mother, unfortunately, due to complications from breast cancer in 2008. And it was untimely because she was just shy of 71. And in our collective grief, I actually share ownership with my two brothers and my father. In our collective grief, we thought, what can we do to both commemorate my mother's influence on our family and our business, but also raise awareness for the importance of early detection. So I reached out to another family-run organization, just like J.Lohr, the National Breast Cancer Foundation, based out of Texas. And that first year, we commemorated the 2005 as our debut Touching Lives vintage, whereby back then it was $2 from every bottle of Carol's Cab that was sold would go toward mammograms and other early detection services. Now it's $3 because we've raised the price on such an exceptional quality Napa Valley St. Helena Cabernet Sauvignon. So all told, since inception, and this is a perennial campaign now into, we'll start our 18th year later this year, but all told more than $1 million just from proceeds from sales, but also that impact has been doubled by the activations, the support, the ideations and creations of distributors' accounts' own fundraising efforts, all toward raising awareness, hopefully for the eradication of breast cancer. So deeply personal but fulfilling family story to the Lohr family.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Cynthia Lohr is with us. J.Lohr Wines. You've probably seen it at your favorite local wine shop. Don't just look at it, buy it. And Cynthia, you know, one of the things that I talk about a lot with restaurant owners and wine and liquor store owners is sort of this change that we've seen and some of the conflicting data on it, whether young people are drinking less, whether we do know that wine overall is down. But I sometimes think, I don't know, like there's so many wine brands. Like, do we need, are we growing too many grapes or making too much wine? It's not, how much are people supposed to drink? Like, is this an us problem or is this a business problem?
That's the $1 million question. You know, it's actually got to be a bit of both. We can't keep up with the amount of wine that is being created, the new brands that are being created, and the glut of super high quality grapes. So I think we're going to see a couple of things. I think we're going to see a concentration and a focus that is a natural evolution of climate and other impacts. But the good news is we're starting to look at what are the various ways and occasions that we can enjoy wine that are accessible to everyone. And when you look at potential audiences, it's not just, you know, Gen Z and millennials. It's a greater multicultural conversation that needs to bring everyone to the table in the enjoyment of wine. And I think that's what our industry is focused on, is growing that consumer base in ways that feel authentic, that are sustainable, and that bring the enjoyment of wine to everyone.
Is it too stuffy, Cynthia? You think this idea, like you sort of have to pass some sort of blind tasting test to have a glass of wine?
Oh my goodness. You know, I think there's so many ways to learn about wine now. I was at an event in New York this past weekend where young consumers were learning about wine on their phone in a blind tasting contest that then were awarded a prize if they got the most answers right. So I think there are so many ways to make wine accessible.
That makes it fun. That makes it fun.
Absolutely.
I think mostly like we try to make it like you need to be some kind of genius. And really, it should just be fun. Like, it should be fun. Education, fine. But what other food product is like, oh, we need to teach people about the steak? Like, give me a break. Like, lighten up. You know?
You're so on top of it. At the end of the day, wine comes from agriculture, and it's as natural a product as possible. And so you're 100% right. Let's bring back the fun. Let's bring back the food and wine pairings. Let's experiment with wine cocktails and wine mocktails, and just, you know, use it to be the incredible icebreaker and convener that wine and beverage alcohol is.
Cynthia Lohr is with us, Lohr. It's J.Lohr Wines. You guys have been coming to Minnesota for so long. Why do you think Minnesota loves your wine so much? It seems to be such a good market for you guys.
Well, thank you so much. We have tremendous representation in the area, quite frankly, terrific team members with whom I will be this weekend. And this proximity to my father's home state of South Dakota certainly helps as well. So, and you all have an incredible food and wine scene there, and terrific people. I've been working with the folks at Minnesota Monthly for a while now, and just terrific people all the way around.
Well, lots of opportunities if you want to go to the Minnesota Food and Wine Experience. I'm glad it's back at Target Field this weekend because it's just kind of cool to walk around and the concourse is up there and get to sample all this great food, all this great wine. There's a J.Lohr dinner. I was told there are a couple seats left for that tonight if people are interested in that. But otherwise, I'll be there on Sunday at Target Field, and Saturday there are tickets, a couple tickets for Saturday, a few more for Sunday.
Yes.
So people can go to minnesotamonthly.com/food-wine or just go to Minnesota Monthly. I'm sure there are 4,000 pop-ups on that website that'll get you. That's how this goes, right? You know how it is, Cynthia.
I sure do, Jason.
Well, we look forward to having you here in town and really appreciate you spending some time with us today.
Thank you so much, Jason. I've got my warm, cozy jacket all ready for my travels.
Snow, don't look at a forecast until you're already here. I'll tell you that much. Cynthia Lohr with us here on CCO. 448, I mentioned that earlier today I saw our friends from the Minnesota Pork Board. I'll tell you where I was and why it gives me a little hope for the future of our state. That when we come back on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Jason here. And when we left work yesterday, Dan, I said to you, I'm going home to have myself a pork chop. And you said, what? I'll believe it when I see it. You're known for being full of it. I don't remember exactly what you said. It was
I would totally believe it if you said that.
Yeah. I should put a picture up. I will after I'm done talking on our live stream, because Alyssa made these bone-in pork chops that we got from the this awesome independent grocery store in St. Paul. Go to the meat market, and the butcher was so excited to talk about this special program. It's really, really good. And these pork chops were killer. Alyssa made like a Dijon mustard sort of sauce. And that was it. Just put it on, sear it on the stovetop, and then throw it in the oven to finish it off. It was juicy, delicious, lean, high protein. It's a perfect dinner. Pork is all about. Put flavor on the table. The website is tastewhatporkcando.com. You might want just something as simple as a new sauce, a new flavor profile just to spice things up, make it a little more fun for you at dinner. How about egg roll in a bowl tonight? There's a recipe that'll take 20 minutes to crank it out. 10 minutes of prep time, 20 minutes of cook time, a little ground pork, boom, boom, boom. You got a fun dinner ready to go to serve the whole family. Find inspiration at tastewhatporkcando.com. Go to your grocery store and your butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
If you've never called CCO before, please don't start now. I mean, sure, you've been yelling at your dashboard for years, maybe decades. Yes, you had a unique take on Operation Metro Surge, and okay, you did predict a lot of what's happened with the twins. But calling? Texting? Actually joining the conversation? That sounds risky. What if we agree with you? What if you're good at this? Nah, better to stay anonymous. Safe. In the background. News Talk 830 WCCO. Don't call. Unless you're ready.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't waste another minute suffering from foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store for your no-obligation custom fitting. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Call 855-554-3338 or stop by our locations in Roseville, Maple Grove, Burnsville, and Woodbury.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Step into pain relief.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Going to find some slowing along 694, pretty much either direction between Highway 10 and 252, 10 westbound, 610 westbound rather, from Highway 10, heading out to Noble Parkway. Get ready for slowdowns there if you're traveling 494 northbound. Got your slowdowns in place as you come up from Highway 62 toward 394. And the USPS Ground Advantage reliable route is 494 northbound, free-flowing, no delays as you come up from Hardman Avenue to I-94. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Gutman Law, Wills Trust, and Probate Law at gutmanlaw.com, bringing us the weather forecast. It is drizzly out there right now, looking at live radar. Yeah, I mean, it's more than drizzly in some parts of the area. Holy moly, West Metro. Text in if you're seeing this. But, we've got some heavy rain activity over Mound, Minnetonka Beach, Plymouth, headed towards you, Golden Valley, St. Louis Park, and Minneapolis. Rain throughout the metro area. Some light snow to the north, St. Cloud, Malacca, Mora. That is probably not sticking because it's pretty warm out. 40 degrees right now. We're keeping our eye on Saturday night. That is the winter storm watch. Tomorrow, 37 the high. Saturday, 38 the high, but that evening snow is what we're all watching. Exactly how is that going to line up? Could be a big one. 40 degrees on CC.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So this morning I was at the River Center in St. Paul, where the future of restaurant, the high school kids that were part of the Pro Start competition were at school, they were out of school today, competing in the Pro Start Invitational. Hospitality Minnesota helped sponsor this event. But I got to say, it's one of the coolest things that we see in our local schools. Because I think, man, when I was in school, to have the opportunity to learn how to cook and learn how to plan a menu and learn how to run a business, and all of that is part of what these kids learn. It was so fun, Dan. These kids, there were 14 different teams. And these kids are at the River Center. They get an hour to cook. But before that, you have to, set up your station. And they do it sort of like camping rules, because there's no electricity. So you get 2 burners, and that's it. And I don't know. It leaves me inspired that these kids, they're gonna figure it out. And we worry sometimes, all right, do the Gen Zers, do the young kids, do they want to work? Do they have the work ethic? Do they have the drive? Do they have the desire? And when you look at restaurants, do you want that life? I think my son worked at a restaurant, Sam works in a restaurant, and that meant nights, that meant weekends, that meant physical labor. And so will the next generation want to work like this? And they do, and they're creative, and they're innovative, and they were making there were lamb chops, and there were just all this stuff. I'm I took a home ec class when I was in 7th grade where I learned how to make breadsticks. I think I learned how to make pudding off of like the instructions on the Jell-O pudding container. Like that's just what it was. So the fact that like these kids have this sort of experience, it's awesome. It is awesome. They get mentored by a local chef. And then they have people from General Mills and Ecolab and Interlochen Country Club and Gia, the restaurant, and the Bungalow Club, Bix Produce, all these guys in there judging. It was awesome. It was awesome. So I was emceeing, trying to keep it a little light in there. We celebrate the young people for the state hockey tournament, the state basketball tournament, and the girls are playing tonight. But today we got to celebrate some young future culinary. It was pretty fun. And the winners go to a national competition. CBS News.
Are your checking and savings accounts feeling dim? Allow Luminate Bank to make banking brighter. With our radiant savings and brighter checking accounts, we're here to help strengthen your financial future with options for both personal and business accounts. With no minimum balance requirements, high yield rates, and our online banking and bill pay tools, Luminate Bank is simply the best choice. So don't let your money sit in the shadows. Let Luminate Bank illuminate your finances. Learn more at luminate.bank. That's LUMINATE.bank. Luminate. We make banking brighter. Member FDIC. Other fees may apply and fees may reduce earnings.
Save big on everything when you shop at Menards. Give your walls the most advanced protection with Pittsburgh's Paramount Interior Paint and Primer in one. It's scuff, scrub, and wear resistant, while also blocking stains and delivering true one-coat coverage. Choose from thousands of color options and refresh your space for spring. View our entire selection of paint and accessories today on Menards.com. Plus, check out the weekly flyer to find great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Are you struggling with hearing loss? Do friends and family complain that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to repeat themselves? If you want to hear clearly again, but don't want a bulky hearing aid that makes you look old, you need to try Atom X by Audion Hearing. The Atom X is a life-changing breakthrough, precisely designed by top audio engineers, fits comfortably in your ear, is nearly invisible, and lets you adjust your sound so you can hear conversations clearly, at home, at dinner, or on the go. And right now, you can try the Atom X risk-free for 45 days. Call Audion Hearing now at 800-295-HEAR. That's HEAR for a 45-day risk-free home trial with free shipping and money-back guarantee. The Atom X is lightweight, rechargeable, practically invisible, and costs 90% less than prescription hearing aids. Don't miss out. Call 800-295-HEAR for complete details. That's 800-295-4327. Hearing for everyone. Audion Hearing.
When it happens there, you'll hear about it here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. An investigation is underway into the ramming of a vehicle into the Temple Israel Synagogue in suburban Detroit. The driver, who had a weapon, is dead. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard.
He breached the building, drove down the hall, and he was engaged by security.
CBS's Nicole Scango reports.
After that shootout, there was an explosion coming from the vehicle, and FBI, in addition to ATF, are right now still sorting through, trying to identify if there were any explosive devices, improvised explosives, IEDs in that vehicle.
CBS News has learned that the suspect's body is badly burned, making identification difficult. Temple Israel Synagogue in West Bloomfield Township is one of the largest in the country. The FBI says the suspect who killed one person and injured two others at Old Dominion University today has been identified by authorities as Mohammed Baylor Jalloh, who pleaded guilty in 2016 to attempting to provide material support to the Islamic State. Dominique Evans, special agent in charge of the Norfolk FBI field office, says when bullets were fired, in the school's business building this morning, some ROTC members sprang to action.
There were students that were in that room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive.
Old Dominion University will be closed tomorrow at all locations. Just in, the U.S. military says a refueling aircraft went down in Iraq, and rescue efforts are underway. A second aircraft landed safely. President Trump is praising the American military amid the U.S.-led war against Iran. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest.
The
situation with Iran is moving along very rapidly.
President Trump speaking at a Women's History Month event at the White House took a moment to acknowledge American military might.
Our military is unsurpassed. There's never been anything like it.
And the president added Iran had to be stopped from developing a nuclear weapon.
They really are a nation of terror and hate, and they're paying a big price right now.
Trump did not address higher oil prices following the start of the war, although previously called that a short-term excursion. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker today visited Aroma Park in Kankakee County, where severe weather has damaged and destroyed homes, buildings, and vehicles. Pritzker received a briefing from local officials and assessed the damage in the county and says,
"Just looking around, this looks like a circumstance where federal resources will be triggered and should come to this community."
In northwest Indiana, at least 2 people were killed and homes and structures severely damaged in storms on Tuesday. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Light rain, breezy, 38 degrees at 5:04. I'm Laura Oakes. Well, you know it's big when the National Weather Service is using the words remarkable precipitation footprint. They are talking about a major winter storm hitting us Saturday into Sunday. Forecasters saying right now 6 to 10 inches of heavy snow is likely for pretty much the southern half of the state, with more than a foot in some areas. We will keep you posted here on CCO. A hearing in federal court in St. Paul today over the federal government's freezing of $259 million in Medicaid funding for Minnesota.
The state appealed that decision, saying the freeze amounts to retaliation by the Trump administration and that no funds can be withheld until the appeal process is complete. An attorney for the administration telling the judge the burden is on Minnesota to prove it can manage funds properly. Judge Eric Tostrud has taken the arguments under advisement and says he expects to make a decision soon. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
At the Capitol, another push for an equal rights amendment.
Hundreds of advocates gathered in the state capitol rotunda to urge lawmakers to pass a constitutional amendment protecting individuals from discrimination based on factors including race, sex, and gender identity. The rally highlighted an increased sense of urgency following recent federal policy shifts. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison.
Literally all over the country, friends, you know and I know, we've been fighting over voting rights, fighting over civil rights, fighting over human rights. I can think of nothing better to do right here, right now, than to pass the ERA.
At the state capitol, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830 WCCO.
In the Minnesota BCA investigating after a Rochester police officer shot and killed a suspect overnight. It happened at an apartment building after police were called to a domestic situation. Police say the suspect struggled with an officer and reached for the officer's gun. WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Linda's Construction, lindasconstruction.com. Got rain across the metro. Make sure you're buckled up and the headlights are on. And give yourself a little bit of extra time. Things beginning to bunch up for the most part across the entire system. 694 westbound jammed up. Silver Lake Road over to Highway 252. 394 eastbound. Got your slowdowns. Park Place Boulevard into Minneapolis. And South 169, that's a slow ride. 494 as you head down to Old Shakopee Road. Protect your home before spring storms arrive. Choose GAF Asphalt Shingles and receive free installation labor this March. Go to lindasconstruction.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCL.
Hey, business owners, it's Tiki Barber. Are you looking to earn extra money? Of course you are. When your business partners with Amazon Hub Delivery, you simply drop off packages to Amazon customers in your neighborhood. Get started at amazon.com/hub delivery.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Amazon Hub Delivery. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The rain and snow will move out tonight. It's all about the wind. A high wind warning, which includes a good chunk of the state and the Twin Cities metro. We could catch gusts up over 50 miles per hour. We'll drop back to 26 average wind speeds from the northwest, 15 to 25 miles per hour. We'll see some sunshine tomorrow. Cool sunshine, only a high of 37. It will still be windy, finally dying off later in the day. Saturday, that snow arrives by evening. It's a big one. A winter storm watch already in place. Some places could see 6 to 12 inches, others over a foot of snow.
Light rain, breezy right now, 38 at News Talk 830 WCCL.
Dependable, sometimes unpredictable, and always relevant and compelling. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Once again, here's Jason DeRUSH.
Thursday afternoon as we get ready. As much as I know that when it's only March 12th, you can't put away the snow shovels and the snow blowers.
Now shut up and drive.
Still kind of irritating to see 6 to 12 inches. I don't like it. I don't like it. We're supposed to have people over to our St. Paul apartment on Saturday night for a dinner party. And if there's going to be 6 to 10 inches of snow, first of all, these friends of ours are cowards. You have some friends who are like, what do I care? I got a dinner party. I'll drive slowly. It'll be fine. And then you have others that just the forecast pops up and they're like, well, I'm out. I'm canceling everything. These friends, cowards. It happens. It's good to have a mix of friends. I find like having some cowards and some sort of rogue, out of control people. Because which side of that equation do you think I lead towards, Dan? Am I more towards the coward side of things or more towards the out of control, would you say?
I like to think you bring the best of both of those worlds together in a single package.
You don't really think that, do you? It sounded nice, though.
It sounded good.
Yeah,
huh?
It sounded real good. I lean towards out of control. So it's good to have a balance. I hope we don't. I don't know. I don't know what to hope for. Snow comes this time of year. At least it doesn't usually stick around for a super long period of time. We'll keep you updated tomorrow. Do we have a full show tomorrow? We have a short show next week.
Next Friday. A week from tomorrow, we have a short show. But no, tomorrow's a full bit.
All right, very good. Let's bring you up to date because there's a lot of breaking news. We're keeping an eye on things we're watching in the DeRUSH Hour News headlines.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRUSH Hour headlines, starting with the lead.
And a reminder again that anti-Semitism, if indeed that was the motive for this attack on a synagogue in Michigan, anti-Semitism is alive. It is well. It is more of a problem perhaps today than we have seen in our lifetimes in America. The suspect is dead. This driver rams into a Michigan synagogue just outside of Detroit. And what heroism by the armed security guards who engaged and perhaps saved more than 100 lives from the young people who were at the school and inside this synagogue. But the latest is that it does appear there was a significant amount of explosives in the vehicle that this guy rammed into the synagogue. We saw smoke coming out of this synagogue in West Bloomfield, Michigan, Temple, Israel. The leaders are saying we were victims of a terrorist gunman. There were 140 students in an early childhood center. But this synagogue attack, shooting, ramming, just horrifying. Horrifying. Could have been so much worse. Officials are expecting to update this in the coming days. But I was reminded earlier today while I was talking to a friend about a Jewish friend whose daughter is choosing a college to go to, and one of the key factors for her was choosing a college that she felt safe at. Just such an indictment of how we've failed as a people. Our obsession in keeping people safe and making people feel seen, except if you're Jewish. It's just inexcusable to me. And not surprising that we're seeing these sorts of extremist attacks. At this point, the sheriff is still searching for a motive, but Jewish places of worship across the country are on high alert. Police departments in New York, L.A., Washington, other areas saying they're going to increase patrols. This synagogue is one of the largest Reform synagogues in the country. It's got a museum with artifacts of Jewish history in it. It does have robust security. And it's hard not to think about, what about a synagogue that doesn't have robust security like this? These attacks have been on the rise in recent years. One of the deadliest came in 2018. Remember a man with an AR-15 shouting anti-Semitic slurs, opening fire at a synagogue in Pittsburgh, killing 11, wounding 4 police officers. A synagogue in Jackson, Mississippi, set on fire in January this year by a 19-year-old. That was Beth Israel, the oldest synagogue in the state of Mississippi. But so many of these attacks, such hate. And we have to do better. We have to do better. Other stories that we are keeping an eye on today include what is going on in Iran and how that is impacting oil and gasoline around the world.
And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude oil, that is black gold, Texas tea.
Yeah, the United States releasing 172 million barrels of oil from the strategic reserves. That's what the Energy Department says. The plan is to try to keep prices from rising even more. The International Energy Agency, all around the world, 32 different countries, agreeing to put extra oil supplies into the market. New York Times reporting on this. Oil prices, however, have been rising. Today they were up 1.54%, up to almost $96, crude oil futures. You know, better than what we saw earlier this week, where prices were really going crazy. But, over the past month, oil is up $35 a barrel, up 57%. Over the past month, anybody who uses diesel, you're seeing it most. And that today led to Ecolab adding a surcharge to all of their. Ecolab is huge. They're based here in St. Paul. They have hygiene products for restaurants, for hospitals, sanitation things, and they've added an energy surcharge, one of the first companies to do that. But they're saying their prices are up, up, up. This story is a little disturbing. Star Tribune reporting about oil found in the Mississippi River after a nuclear plant leak in Monticello. I mean, it's 200 gallons of oil seeping for the cooling equipment. So Xcel Energy saying that there was a little leak. It always makes you a little nervous, right? At the old nuclear plant, a little leak. Man, what are we leaking? They're leaking oil. This oil seeping for the cooling equipment. Sort of a motor that circulates water at the plant failed, so the oil mixing with water. And you know what happens there? Oil and water, they don't mix that well. And so it goes into a discharge canal. It was mineral oil. A small amount, they say. They're doing the cleanup. This nuclear plant has been shut down for maintenance for almost a month. Monday afternoon was the first indication there was a problem. So they isolated the leak. They reported it to the state, and then they reported that information as well. This story has got to go down as an all-timer. One of the weirdest stories I've heard in some time, as St. Paul police are investigating a McAllister student's report that a professor urinated on her backpack.
Evacuation beginning.
What on earth? I mean, like, we all can make our jokes about McAllister professors, right? Like, some of them are pretty out there. A lot of these professors are awesome, to be clear. But both the Twin Cities Pioneer Press in St. Paul and the Star Tribune reporting on this. I first saw this story from Mara Gottfried in the Pioneer Press. The student's backpack was in a classroom building in December. And St. Paul police say when she came back to get her backpack, she found urine on it. Pioneer Press, they don't usually, identify a suspect. But they emailed the guys, the alleged urinator, and got an auto reply saying he's no longer at McAllister. Police are investigating. But yikes. Student news website Mac Weekly reported a professor sent an email to chem and biology students saying the colleague in question is no longer an employee and is not authorized to be anywhere on campus. I don't know. I don't know about that. That's the DeRUSH Hour News headlines. In just a minute, just fail the student you don't like. You don't have to pee on their backpack. What is going on at McAllister? In just a minute, a grocery chain, a family-owned group of grocery stores that has mostly been associated with St. Cloud and northern suburbs is making a move into the Twin Cities, and it's a big move. Today's opening day. We'll talk about what Coborn's is up to, opening in Plymouth, right on the border of Maple Grove, when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chris Lindahl wants to buy your house. It's pretty simple. It's Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl. I've known Chris for years. He is a Minnesotan. He is one of us. He raised his family here. He's grown his business here. He's put his face and his big old arms out on billboards all over the Twin Cities. And now he just wants to buy your house. He wants to make it easy for you. Chris Lindahl's been going around the Twin Cities, not handing out. You gotta sell your house. But he's been delivering big red checks to so many people all over Minnesota. And the reason is clear. Why are more people? This is what I asked Chris. I'm like, what is going on? Why are so many people taking advantage of the guaranteed cash offer? Why are they getting those big red checks? And he said, well, it used to be that the guaranteed cash offer was for people who were trying to sell a home quickly. They inherited a house. Maybe they need cash. Maybe they had a family change, whatever. Now, more and more people are saying, you know what, I just don't want to deal with this old way of selling houses. It's a pain in the neck. People are flaking out at the last minute. I don't need the headaches. I would rather sell the house for a little bit less than I would get on the open market and wash my hands of every single headache and give it to Chris. Sounds appealing. So check it out, chrislindahl.com. Get the free Smart Seller Guide. Read it before you list. Open market or guaranteed cash offer, which is smarter? You make that decision, but Chris Lindahl would love to help at chrislindahl.com.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all. Because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep. Now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 442 Unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Hey, it's Adam Carter here, inviting you to join me November 30th to explore tropical Costa Rica with Colette. We'll stay in the Monteverde Cloud Forest, a place you have to see to believe, where trees grow to heights of 100 feet and the wildlife is abundant, from butterflies to sloths. Enjoy breathtaking views in nature's museum. Visit a coffee plantation to learn the history from the bean all the way to the cup. Plus, relax in a resort on the most beautiful beach of Guanacaste. This and so much more. Colette handles all the details: flights, meals, hotels, and local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Do not miss out. Meet me and the folks from Colette on Wednesday, March 18th at 6 p.m. at Park Tavern in St. Louis Park to learn more. Call Colette at 866-436-6734 or visit WCCOradio.com for details. Let's go to Costa Rica.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Drive Time with DeRUSH.
I'm just going to give it a big fat so what?
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRUSH Hour News Headlines continues with some breaking news just within the last couple of minutes. The Minnesota Vikings sharing the news that they have indeed signed quarterback Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray came here to the Twin Cities to meet with the Vikings, which pretty much it was a sign that, like, unless this thing went south big time, it was a fait accompli. So the Vikings announcing the number one pick from 2019 by Arizona joins the Vikings. He started all 87 regular season games he played for the Cardinals, but after he was released by Arizona, now you got a competition. J.J. McCarthy, Kyler Murray, who will it be? But that breaking news confirmed by the Minnesota Vikings within the last couple of minutes. It'll be a one-year deal. 1-year contract. League minimum. Pretty good deal. Arizona is going to pay him $36.8 million. I bet our next guest would happily take the league minimum if somebody else was paying Dennis Host $36.8 million. Right, Dennis? That sounds pretty good.
That's not chump change, is it?
No, that's not grocery store money. $36.8 mil is serious coin.
That is serious coin indeed. Yes, exactly. I wouldn't shake that away.
Absolutely not. Dennis is the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications at Coborn's, which today had a grand opening of their newest concept store in Plymouth, right on the border of Plymouth and Maple Grove. It's called Coburn's Market and Table. And I've been in the store, Dennis. It's beautiful, and we'll talk about the concept in a minute. But I wanted to ask you first, because so many of our listeners know Coburn's from St. Cloud area, from sort of central Minnesota. I know you're in Elk River, but coming down into the metro area, this is sort of new for you guys. What is the idea? What's the theory here?
Sure. Well, it is new for us. This is our first foray into the metro area, or close to the metro area, as you mentioned. We're at the corner of 494 and Bass Lake Road, in what was the former Prudential Insurance campus out here. So for those of you who lived up in this area or are familiar with the area, that was that big building kind of off back behind the rolling hills off of 494. And that's no longer here, and it is now a 75-acre development, mixed-use development of retail and professional and medical, 800 and some apartment units going up, Central Park, lake, walking trails, the whole thing within the 75 acres here. And so they were looking for an anchor tenant, a grocery store, and we did a lot of research around what could go there. Potentially, and so we've been working on this for about 24 months or so, and it came up with this new concept called Coburn's Market and Table, as you mentioned, and we just opened today, and it has been a surreal, super fun, exciting, very, very busy day. We've opened this thing with a grand bang.
Well, there's been a lot of buzz about it for sure, partially, I think, because that area is a little underserved, even though Maple Grove has a lot of grocery stores, kind of one exit to the north, and you can get a Hy-Vee if you're all the way out by like Rush Creek Golf Course. But there's not much in that part of town, so I think there's excitement there. But it's also, I think, sort of the area of the market that you're kind of carving out. I think a lot of people in Minnesota feel like your choices are either like are more on the budget end or on the fancy end. And I feel like you guys sort of carve out more middle of the road kind of price point for people.
Yep, exactly. And that's really what we heard from the focus groups that we conducted a year and a half ago. We brought in 120 some odd folks and listened intently to what does the market need. We saw this little island here, as you're kind of describing, just in terms of this little space here where there's not a lot around it, that was underserved. And so, okay, there's an opportunity here to build something special. And what is it that the market wants? What doesn't the market want in terms of other sort of amenities within a grocery store or whatever? And so we really listened intently to the research and to everybody as we kind of were concepting what this was going to look like. And so that's what we built here. You can do a full grocery shop here. We've got an amazing farmers market produce department, a butcher block, we call it, the meat department, which is like a local butcher, an amazing deli and an amazing bakery, and then the full grocery store. And then on top of that, we've added the little bit of Disney, the pizzazz into this, which is some really cool partnerships that we have brought together in this project with Alicia Hinsey from the Buttered Tin. This is her third restaurant within our grocery store. So she's kind of a breakfast, brunch, coffee shop in the morning and through the noon hour. And then it kind of flips into, you can come here and get a glass of wine or a glass of beer or whatever. We've got a patio out on the south end of the building in the summertime. We'll have sun shading out there. We got a little stage out there for some entertainment.
Dennis, do people just expect different things from a grocery store, right? Like, I mean, 10 years ago, what you're describing, people would be like, are you kidding me? Like, nobody wants that
right.
They just want to get their groceries. Now it feels like it's more of a community hub.
Yeah, and that is exactly what the research and the focus groups told us, is we want a community gathering space. We want good food. We also want good value. We want a good meat department. We want a good produce department. And if you build that, we will come. And so that's really how we listened intently to that, and that's what we built here. So then across the aisle from the Buttered Tin, we partnered with very renowned in the Twin Cities chef David Fema. Many folks know him, and we have partnered with him on a concept we're calling the Global Table, and there are 3 restaurants within the Global Table. Brothers Burgers, which is a nod to the 4 Coborn brothers, the 3rd generation of the family leadership. Amazing burgers in there, and he's got a couple of other things on that menu. And then we've got another Mexican concept in there called Abuela's Mexican Kitchen, which is family recipes from the chef's, I guess it would be his son's mother-in-law, and
Right.
her heritage brought that all together in this Mexican restaurant. And then chef brought his Italian heritage into this as well in a restaurant called Basta Pasta. So you can bring your whole family here, and you can all pick a different thing from a different menu and all be fat and happy when you leave. Amazingly delicious food, and we've got indoor seating.
Is this Dennis? As we're talking with Dennis Host, who's with Coburn's, as they had their grand opening in Plymouth today. Is this the first of many? Are there going to be more stores in the Twin Cities metro area? Have you guys identified any different locations yet?
We have not gone that far.
Let's make an announcement today. Let's go, Dennis.
Yeah,
we know
we don't. I don't. Yeah, no announcement to be made because there just is none to be made. We've got a lot to learn in this. This is a brand new name for us, new banner for us. All these new concepts in here, whatever. So this will be a little bit of, I mean, it's a flagship store, obviously, but we got some things we have to learn here first to kind of test out how this all works in this sort of grocerant kind of experience. And once we learn from that, who knows what the future will look like and what that will hold in terms of growth opportunities. We're a growing company. We've been around for 105 years. This is our 79th store now, so we'll learn from this, and who knows what the crystal ball looks like down the road.
Pretty interesting. Just the way that we shop, the way that we dine, all of that has changed so fast, and Coburn's a part of it. Dennis, appreciate the time today. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Dennis Host from Coburn's, who is not making Kyler Murray money, but doing all right with the team at Coburn's and their grand opening today in Plymouth. It's just so interesting. If you would have told 10 years ago, I'd be like, huh? Makes no sense. No sense. All right, the breaking news is that the Vikings did it. Not a giant surprise, but we got a competition ahead. I guess, who do you guys want to start? Do you want Kyler Murray or do you want J.J. McCarthy? 651-461-9226. Drive time back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Sub-zero temperatures aren't friendly to electric vehicles, and Rivian is hoping to prove that its new R2 SUV can handle the frigid weather in an attempt to broaden its appeal. Seeking Alpha reports that the R2 was spotted in Fairbanks, Alaska, as Rivian puts the vehicle through its paces in freezing conditions in order to assure the EV's battery capabilities and establish the R2 as a rival to Tesla's Model Y. I'm Jason Brooks.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't waste another minute suffering from foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store for your no-obligation custom fitting. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Call 855-554-3338 or stop by our locations in Roseville, Maple Grove, Burnsville, and Woodbury.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Step into pain relief.
Spring cleaning is upon us, but there's one meaningful box that you don't throw away when cleaning out your closet. It's the box filled with your family's important videotapes, film reels, and photos. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago to help families organize and update their analog media to digital.
Legacy Box is simple and easy. It works and is safe. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box.
And Legacy Box has been featured in Good Housekeeping, The Today Show, and Rachel Ray.
Legacy Box is like magic, converting your shoebox of memories to the cloud or thumb drive, ready to watch and share.
Declutter your closet by digitizing your media. Become more organized and accomplished, knowing your family's recorded past is safe forever. Take advantage of our spring cleaning sale going on now. It's the easiest task to check off your to-do list.
For a limited time, you can get started for just $9 a tape. Visit legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/radio.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
You got rain across most of the metro. Give yourself a little extra time. Make sure you're buckled up and the headlights are on. Got your slowdowns in place as you travel South 35W, 98th Street down to Highway 13. South 169, watching slowdowns there, 494 to Old Shakopee Road. And if you're up on the north side of the metro, get ready for some slowdowns along 694 eastbound, Brooklyn Boulevard, heading over towards Central Avenue. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters presents Guys and Dolls, a high-rolling musical spectacle packed with iconic songs and dazzling dance numbers. Don't miss this Tony Award-winning Best Musical, Guys and Dolls. Tickets at chanhassendt.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, forecast time. We're keeping our eye on this weekend, but we got some rain happening right now, mixing in with a little bit of snow. Let's check in. Thanks to Chanhassen Dinner Theater, always entertaining you with Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The heavier snow up north, the rain and snow near us, that will move out tonight, but the wind is going to get stronger. A high wind warning in play with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Average wind speeds will be from the northwest 15 to 25 as we fall back to 26. We'll see sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. Still windy, but finally backing off late in the day. Just a raw day, though. Only a high of 37. Most of Saturday is fine. Get your running around done because that snow arrives by evening after a high of 38. A winter storm watch that does include the Twin Cities that rolls until 7 a.m. on Monday. 6 to 12 inches of snow possible. Some could see even higher amounts.
Looking at live radar right now, it's a mess out there. And texters saying we're getting snow in Excelsior. There's this sort of bubble of snow out in the western suburbs. So Eden Prairie, Shakopee, Medina, you guys are getting snow. Rain in the metro, and then snow off on the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Stillwater, New Richmond, Baldwin, Ellsworth. You guys seeing snow as well. A little bit of mess out there this evening. It's 40 on CCO.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We got him! No one else wanted him, but we got him, everybody! Kyler Murray.
That may not technically be true, by the way. I did see a story earlier today that the LA Rams were sniffing around the Kyler Murray camp.
I mean, the agent's got to drop that, right?
Sure.
It's so ridiculous the way that these agents feed the info to all these, like, scooplet reporters. You get and one of them is one of us, Tom Pelissero, who I used to work with his wife over at Channel 4. Now he's like a big-time NFL Network guy. But the agents love to get the information out, right? So Kyler Murray's agent shared the news to reporters. And then, like, 2 minutes later, the Vikings are like, have their own post. Boom. QB. What did they say? K1, not QB1.
No, not yet.
K1. The Vikings have signed Kyler Murray. Now, as a fan, I don't know. Kyler Murray, if our coach can get Kyler Murray, get out of him what Arizona was unable to get out of him, and Arizona is not a good team. So you think, if you take somebody like Kyler Murray, number 1 draft pick in 2019, and you say, all right, you get to play with Justin Jefferson, and you get to have some weapons, now maybe you get to see Kyler Murray at his full potential. Now, Kyler himself posted, and by Kyler himself posted, I assume this is also his agent posting this stuff or his team. I don't know. You never know. On the Kyler Murray account, here is a beautiful photo of Kyler smiling, tremendous lighting, tremendous bokeh in the background, the out of focus, and he's wearing what I hope is an Unreal hoodie, Got to support our local clothing manufacturer. But he's got the Vikings hoodie on. And then he posted next to it this picture of him as a young lad wearing number 1 as the quarterback for the Vikings. Like he's got the purple and so pretty fun. Like, do we know, do you know, Dan, where Kyler Murray grew up? He's from Texas.
I don't. He's a ridiculous.
Born in Texas.
All I know is he's a ridiculous athlete because not only was he drafted number 1 overall in the NFL draft, but he was also drafted in the MLB draft. He's also a heck of a baseball player.
Who's often a good sign.
Remarkable athlete. It's just a matter of harnessing it and getting it directed in the right direction, and that's supposed to be KOC's calling card. The big question, obviously, and we're trying to get a hold of Alec Lewis. We may not be able to do that till tomorrow. The big question, obviously, going to be is he gifted the number 1 quarterback position?
Right,
is
was
this
that
a
part of the
legitimate
deal?
competition? Because the Vikings are going to say it's a competition, right, between him and J.J. McCarthy, because that's what they have to say.
Right.
But they signed Kyler to a 1-year deal, and one of the other notes that I saw said that there was a no franchise tag deal part of it.
So
they
can
can't
play
tag him at the end of
right.
the year. So he's a free agent at the end of next year.
That's fine.
And then the Vikings have to rebid with everybody else
Yeah.
to try and keep him beyond that if that's what they decide they want to do. So he's going to be the starting quarterback.
You think so?
I absolutely – short of an injury.
I think so.
I think absolutely he's going to be the starting quarterback. The question is, how do you manage that? Because every practice, every media session, the reporters are going to be asking both him and JJ, what do you think? Who's the starter? What's going on? It's going to be a cloud – not a cloud, but a thing that hangs over Vikings.
Yeah.
All their offseason practices, everything.
And I personally think like these professional sports teams make way too much nonsense out of that. Like, who cares if the media is asking about it? Like, these guys have to compete. You got to try to win the spot. And they're not going to come out and say, Kyler is the guy. I would be surprised if they say that. It's going to be a dog and pony show, right? It's going to be we're going to have a competition and we'll let the best man win. And we'll see how it goes, and ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. It's always like this, right? And let's be real. We all saw what happened last year with J.J. McCarthy. He's not ready. Now.
But does he get more ready sitting on the bench behind Kyler?
That's the
question. Or do you get more ready by actually getting reps and playing?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I think that is super, super interesting. Who do you guys want to see? Who do you want to see? Texters are saying, you don't sign Kyler Murray to be a backup. This is the Vikings saying to JJ, we aren't ready for you to take it yet. Another texter, another runt of a quarterback. Seriously, 5'10", he shouldn't even be in the NFL. He's too small. Another texter, ain't feeling it with McCarthy. Time to try something new. There is going to be like a little bit of a news conference, right? It's supposed to be about 5:45.
Yeah, so it should be just starting.
So Kyler Murray, we'll monitor that. Why don't we break now? And that way, if Kyler comes on, we can take that live. But the Vikings signing Kyler Murray came to town to meet with the coach, we don't really have a general manager right now. Rob Brzezinski is the acting GM. So met with leadership, met with the coaching staff, and decided to sign late this afternoon. Drive Time back in just a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have never had a full-body skin checkup, now is your chance. This is your sign to reach out to Tureen Dermatology. It's Jason here, and my whole family goes to Tureen Dermatology. Dr. Mohiba Tureen is my dermatologist, and I don't mess around with full-body skin checkups. Skin cancer is serious business. I've got a history of it on my father's side. My wife has it on her father's side, so we get that full-body skin checkup. Alyssa does it twice a year because Dr. Mohiba Tureen is on the lookout, making sure there's nothing to be concerned with. If you've ever tried to make an appointment for a dermatologist, you've probably been told how many months you're going to have to wait. With Tureen Dermatology, they will get you in within 3 weeks. 3 weeks. It is a promise for CCO radio listeners. You can do it online. They got 10 locations all over the Twin Cities. Pretty awesome. I go to Roseville. Maybe you want to go to Faribault or Maplewood or Monticello, Hudson, Eagan, Farmington, Lakeville, Lindstrom, Sandstone. I mean, come on. Request that appointment online. You can do it at Tureen, Tareen, dermatology.com.
Some things in life just aren't reliable. Like the check engine light that only comes on after you've broken down. The motion sensor faucet in the airport bathroom.
Come on. Why?
Like that buddy of yours who swears he'll help you move, but on the day of, trust isn't given, it's earned. And for over 100 years, when it's mattered most, Minnesotans have come here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enables buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team to focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Marketing. We know it makes a huge difference when you're selling your home. It's Vanita here. My friends from the John Schuster Group with Coldwell Banker Realty make sure their clients' homes are marketed to everybody. They get people interested in your home. Call John Schuster if your last agent couldn't sell your home. The good neighbor agent, that's what we call him, just helped Patrick sell his house. A different agent couldn't find Patrick a buyer after 168 days on the market.
Okay,
Patrick was
Kevin, we'll
giving
start
up.
with you.
He called John after hearing me talk about all of his
Yeah, hey
clients'
Kyler,
success
just kind of
stories.
curious
There's
how you
so
were
many
viewing
of
this
them. John
this
got
part of your
Patrick
career
multiple offers right away.
after
That's
being
what
in
he does.
Arizona.
That's
Do
what
you
his
view
team
this
does.
as
John
you're
sold
coming in as the
Patrick's
starting
home for
quarterback?
over the
Do you view
asking
this
price
competition?
after just 3 days.
I'm sure you
Want to know
probably
what your home
expected
is
to
worth?
get that
That's part
question
of
at
the
some point,
process.
so we might as well
Find
start
out
it
in
off there.
seconds on John Schuster
Yeah, no.
Group.
Like I said, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. Grateful for the opportunity. I look forward to coming in and competing, getting to learn the offense, getting to be with Coach O'Connell.
Here's Kyler Murray talking
Obviously,
right
he's
now
had
to
a lot of
reporters for the
success,
first
and,
time. Let's go
again, I'm
live
just
here.
looking forward to the opportunity to come in here and competing.
So he was asked if he expects to be
Hey,
the
Kyler,
starting
congrats, man,
quarterback.
first of all.
Here's Alec Lewis.
Just curious, how far back does your Vikings fandom or your knowledge or interest in this organization go?
Thank you. Ever since I started playing tackle football, I was 7 years old. Genuine fandom. Another day, it was a moment. I'll bring it up anyways. Whatever. I cried real tears whenever whenever Brett threw that interception. I cried real tears that day.
Hey, Kyler, welcome to Minnesota.
2009, I think a lot of us
get what the experience.
A lot of us
like.
cried.
I'm sure you met with a lot of
for
people
sure.
today, and
There's
just
Craig
kind of
Peters
it's still
asking
probably
this question.
sinking in and everything. But what's it been like? What was it like to reach out? And then I guess had you heard anything about here from Byron?
Yeah, Murph hit me up earlier. It's been a great day though. I met a lot of genuine, real people. They've done nothing but treat me with great respect and love so far since I've been here. I'm very appreciative of how today went. And again, I cannot wait to get in the building, compete, and just like represent the Vikings.
Kyler, what excites you most, or what are you most looking forward to about working with Kevin O'Connell?
Me and KO go back to the Elite 11 days. I remember, during the combine, I did, I had an interview with the Redskins at the time, Commanders, and he was with them, and he pulled me aside after my meeting with them. And ever since then, our relationship, he's always made sure to check in on me, whether it was after a game, things like that. So I always respected that. I always appreciated his opinion of me and the support that he's given me. So for now, getting to play for him and have that relationship with him means the world. Obviously, he's had a lot of success with different quarterbacks, and he's one of the best offensive minds in the game. So I'm looking forward to going to work with him.
All right, so the big headline, and we'll dip out of this. Our
Kyler,
news
where are
team
you on a
will,
health
keep
standpoint?
track
Obviously you had the foot
on that.
deal last year.
But
what
Kyler
was the
Murray
extent of
addressing
that foot injury, and where are you at with it
on
now?
short notice here this afternoon.
Yeah,
the big headline, he was asked what his expectation would be, and that's sort of what we've been wondering too, right?
So,
is he going to be the starter?
When that time comes,
and he
I'll
said
be out on that field ready
he
to
looks
go.
forward to competing.
Kyler,
I
how well do you
mean,
know Justin Jefferson, and have you guys
if you're
spoke,
Kyler Murray,
I don't know,
do
at
you
all
come
in
here
recent times?
if you're not going to be the starter?
We haven't spoke. No, we haven't spoke. I'm sure I'll talk to him here pretty soon. But
let's break,
yeah,
and we'll come back and wrap up the show in just a minute here on
Jez
CC.
is
My name is Whitney
at the Pro
Allen,
Bowl,
and I'm a
at the
widow.
Pro Bowl.
My husband
we
Ryan
obviously got to
died.
spend
We
some time
never
together.
thought
obviously.
we'd ever have to use life insurance, but
Everybody
the
knows what type of
unexpected
talent he is, what type of player he is, and his abilities through the roof. I'm just super excited to get to work with him, be able to call him a teammate, get to go to war with him.
Yeah, Kyler, what are your real early top of head thoughts on the Viking scheme that Kevin O'Connell runs, and how it matches up with your skills and abilities?
Yeah, I don't want to put any limitation on what that looks like. Again, I know he's had a tremendous amount of success with multiple different quarterbacks. I know what my skill set brings to the game. I know what I'm capable of, and I think that again, like I said, I'm ready to come in and compete. And I can't wait to be under his tutelage, and like I said, get to go to war with not only Jets, but him too.
Hey, Kyler, congrats. Welcome to Minnesota. Welcome to the team. I know you touched on, obviously, your kind of fandom with the Vikings, how far back it went. On Instagram, you posted that throwback photo of you wearing the youth jersey. Just if you can kind of go back to that mindset, what do you think that however old you are in that picture, child Kyler would think about signing with the Vikings today?
Yeah, like I said, I never, never in a million years did I think that this was, going to come around full circle. Not even a thought in my head, but the opportunity presented itself. I again, just watching from afar what KOC's been able to do.
With your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast now, and it's not pretty out there. Rainy, a little bit of snow, kind of a mess. Tonight, high wind warning in effect as well. The low will be 26. Tomorrow, the clouds decrease. The winds back off. The high will be just 37. But then, all eyes on Saturday night. Do we get the snow or not? It's a little early, but we'll see. Looks like there could be some big totals, 6 inches, maybe more. Saturday night is the target for that. Right now, in downtown Minneapolis, where it is raining right now, it is 41 degrees.
Jason DeRUSH.
You are worth the price of admission every single day, because I have no bleeping idea what you are capable of saying.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, so a little taste of the Vikings' new quarterback, maybe. Kyler Murray. I don't know. To me, it gives us a little more. It gives me a little more hope. I think J.J. McCarthy, I don't know that he was going to magically get better on his own. Not that Kevin O'Connell isn't the quarterback whisperer. He is. But come on. Like, we saw a little progress, then injury, that, like, hard to say what we were going to get. And so the reality is, it is something you think about as a Vikings fan, right? Are we destined to be the team of sort of quarterbacks that didn't quite work out, or somebody in the tail end of their career? Sort of where we often end up, right? I'm a little more optimistic with Kyler Murray than I was without him. Aren't you? We'll definitely be talking about this. Pat Garofalo, who is a huge sports gambling guy, former state rep, said 1 month ago the Vikings were 25-1 to win the NFC Championship. Now, after signing Kyler Murray, the odds have been adjusted to 25-1. Absolutely the same, no difference. I feel a little more optimism, but, you know, a little quarterback. I like the idea of people having to earn the job, and I think sort of J.J. McCarthy, not that he didn't have to earn the job, but he never really had a chance to compete for it. He was sort of like, well, it's, and remember, I think part of the frustration as fans last year is we were sort of promised like this guy was ready to rock, and he was not.
I don't know if I feel more optimistic necessarily, but boy, things just got a whole lot more interesting. And that's as fun for me as a fan.
I guess would you rather have, I don't know, as a Minnesota Vikings fan, you can never have any sort of confidence that like we're good to go.
Exactly. So you might as well have drama.
If you were going to wine and dine Kyler Murray, where are you doing it? Where do you think they took him to close the deal?
McDonald's for a big arch?
Could have been. My Burger right outside Viking Lakes? It's possible. I don't know. Who's filling in tonight? It's Weasel in for Henry. That should be great. Stick around on CCO.
Hey, Jordana, I'm Brian. I'm 58 and single. I have a house, a bunch of investments. I have a